friends, Romans, service crew, I welcome you to these hallowed halls of institution, this hallowed hangar, as we discuss something of most importance today of all days. I, of course, am fighting pilot extraordinaire and doctor of commercialology, Ace Windfall. That's right. Not many know this, but I have a diploma from AWU. That's right. Here it is. I am a doctor of commercialology. The fighting pilots, that's what we're called. And with this doctorate, today, we are going to be studying the commercial. That's right. And when I say the commercial, I mean it in both senses. The grandiose commerciality, as well as the dictionary definition of commercial. In this sense, being a television or radio advertisement, which then, of course, I had to look up advertisement, which means a notice or announcement in a public medium promoting a product, service, or event, or publicizing a job vacancy. Of course, we don't really care about that last one, so we're not gonna deal with it. But we're going to be talking about this. So I recommend all of you, Seg, Joe, Chungo Scrungo, grab your notebook, grab your pencil, and grab your thinking hat. Because today, class is in session. We have several things to go over. First, we must examine the rote commercial. We have to look at the base of commercial. We have to see the highs and the lows. And then, and only then, may we delve into the art that we seek today. There is one specific commercial that I don't believe I've talked about that much in my life, but it stays, as the kids say, rent-free in my head. And we have to look at it, and we will examine just why this 1 minute and 30-second advertisement is art. This is a long bit. You ain't even seen the half of it. With that, shall we begin? Let us first take a look. I assume you've all gotten your papers, your pencils, such and such. Let us take a look. By the way, that's you in the bottom next to me, of course. No introduction needed. First off, this is a standard commercial. Let's take a look at this.
Whoa, hey guys, welcome to EB Games.
Call of Duty.
Advanced Warfare. Xbox One.
Copy that.
Save $10 on Call of Duty for
Of course you can
Get
see.
new game content first on Xbox Live.
Of course you can see very clearly. The subject is easy enough. EB Games. And they appeal to their demographic, the gamer. They show the gamer tags. They show the players. And they show the product.
Save $10 on Call
They
of
show
Duty
the
for Xbox
savings.
One.
They show everything they need to show. And not only that, they get in, they have a
Get
bit
new
of
game
humor,
content
and they get
first
out.
on Xbox Live.
Yeah. By the way, please tell me if volume is okay on that stuff. This commercial is a lot faster.
Whoa, hey guys, welcome to EB Games.
Call of Duty.
Advanced Warfare. Xbox One.
But
Copy
you can
that.
see, very simple. This is rote. This is not art. This is the distilled essence of a commercial for commercial's sake. This is not what we're here to look for.
Get new game
Boys,
content
girls,
first
service
on
crew, this
Xbox
is not what
Live.
we're here to look for. This is rote. This is standard. This is the McDonald's of the commercial world. So let's move on to our next. This is close to art. This is the indie scene of commercials. You have your big bands, you have your Kisses, you have your Def Leppards. This is the band you see at the open mic night on a Thursday.
Howdy, y'all. This here's Mike. Down at Mike's Golf Shop, where we buy golf. That's right. We buy golf clubs. Mike's Golf Shop. Come on over here. We buy golf clubs. Over at Mike's Golf Shop. Come on down here. We buy golf clubs. That's right. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs.
As you can see,
Oh, this here's Mike.
is it not beautiful?
Down at Mike's
It's
Golf
simple.
Shop.
It's to the point. You know exactly what he buys.
Golf. That's right.
Hello, Daya.
We buy golf
Hello,
clubs.
Daya and Raiders. You might be getting hit with an advertisement right now. Ironic in the truest sense of the word.
Over at Mike's Golf Shop.
Hello and welcome, and I hope that you had a grandiose karaoke. Today we're studying commercials, and you've caught us at the right time to discuss what this man is buying. It's the purest distilled form. He is the indie rock star of the commercial world. Truly.
We buy golf clubs. Howdy, y'all. This here's Mike.
He says his name, he shows his storefront, he shows his store, and he says what he buys, and he keeps saying it over and over. It sticks in your head. There's an oft-written rule of advertisement. You say it 7 times, it sticks in their head, and this man knows
Over
that.
at Mike's Golf Shop. Come on down here. We buy golf clubs.
He buys golf clubs.
We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs.
No, this is not going to be the one. This is our introduction. Good lord, if I had to watch this one on loop, this would actually break me, I think. There's not much I can talk about there. I think the first one, the Rote commercial, that, the indie, the not necessarily art, but close to it. This is getting better. This one's a bit longer. This is the outsider artist, I would argue. Let us take a look. Now you see, that is reaching closer to art. It's not necessarily art yet, but it has that little je ne sais quoi, we say. It tells a story throughout it. It has testimonial, and, most importantly, it is about family. It is about togetherness. These apartments are not apartments for a single man, a single woman, a single child. No! These are the family apartments. This is where you can live. This is where you can show your stuff. You can fly high at the Fountain View Apartments. I'll be honest, I don't know if this is a real commercial or not. But it's really, honestly, it's really hard to tell. I wasn't sure on this one, because I thought it was real, and then looking at it, I was like, this is almost like I don't know. And that is not a question we'll have with our main feature. But as you can see, this is approaching it. Look, it's about family. You can live at these apartments. That was the exact same shot as earlier, but they just photoshopped a girl in a chair there. Also, Jerry Seinfeld's in this one. I noticed that. Celebrities love these apartments. That is what Fountain View's about. I really don't want to watch that one again. Unloop that. Because I don't know the validity of that one. Now this, where did I find this? On the internet. The internet has a grand veracity of everything. Now, this is not our main feature. This is not our main feature. I am sorry to disappoint. But this, I believe, is the closest to art I've seen until this first one. This, of course, for those of you who are not aware, this is what sparked this idea in me. This is what sparked me fighting Pilot Ace Windfall to get my diploma in commercialology. This commercial right here is what inspired me. So let us take a look.
I love sushi.
I love Japan, period.
The tea ceremonies.
J-Rock.
Yeah.
Garugamesh.
Oh yeah.
I love anime.
And manga.
And gaming.
Oh, DDR.
Smiley K.
Don't just talk about it. Check out Sakura-Con, April 10 through 12. Check sakuracon.org for all the details.
I love sushi.
As you can see,
Japan, period.
this is the closest that has been to art in a long time.
Garugamesh.
Oh yeah.
It has everything. It has a wide cast of characters. It has the subject matter talking about freely. And there's a story to be told. There is a story to be told.
Just talk about
Hello,
it. Check out
Silverina,
Sakura-Con,
welcome.
April 10 through 12.
You're about to see the main course. Right now we are only at the horse divorce.
I love sushi.
I love Japan,
Yes, please go to that website, sakuracon.org, and tell me if it's still even functional or if it has turned into some kind of terrible, like, website.
Oh, DDR.
But this is the closest to art I've seen yet. It starts with something simple. A conversation between friends. A woman just thinking out loud how much she loves raw fish on rice. How much she loves sushi.
I love sushi.
I love Japan,
And then
period.
people chip in. Because, you know why? Because there is togetherness. There is community at SakuraCon. SakuraCon is not a convention of strangers. It's not a convention of the dull drags of society. Just speaking the ideals of SakuraCon, of sushi, of Japan period, of anime and manga and gaming.
10 through 12.
Just speaking those aloud allows such it's as if a convention was to be like held in the sushi restaurant itself. That is how powerful
Tea ceremonies.
SakuraCon and its ideals are.
Garugamesh.
It's really something to be amazed at, is it not?
And gaming.
Can we talk about this? The order that these were put in. It starts with sushi, and then it immediately elevates to Japan, period. It starts with something specific, and then goes bang to all of Japan, and then it goes back to specific. Why? The veracity, the pure chutzpah to do it in that order. To go specific, broad, and then back to very specific things. It's an artistic mind. It's only the mind of Edward Elric, voice actor Edward Elric, whoever voiced him. It's only his mind that could think about this in this order.
Don't just talk about it. Check out Sakura-Con, April 10 through 12. Check sakuracon.org for all the details.
The gaming guy, look at their passion in all their faces.
The tea ceremonies.
J-Rock.
J-Rock, she's excited. Garugamesh, everyone loves Garugamesh.
Anime. And gaming.
He's so excited. He has his Ramune. And in fact, it's so excited that not only people at the sushi bar are chiming in, but people at other tables. That is how infectious SakuraCon is.
10 through 12. Check sakuracon.org
It
for
really
all the
is
details.
spectacular. Let's watch this one more time. Is there anything else? This is our warm-up. Remember, this is practice.
Ceremonies.
J-Rock.
If you haven't already, get your notepad and pencil.
Oh yeah.
I love anime. And gaming.
Oh, DDR.
Smiley K.
It even shows you what you can expect there between DDR and Smile DK.
Don't just talk about it. Check out Sakura-Con, April 10
It
through
really
12.
is something,
Check
is it not?
sakuracon.org for all the details.
Now, friends, Roman, service crew. I've already used that line once tonight, but it was really good, so I really wanted to say it again just for anyone that was now joining us. This is the piece de resistance. I'm not going to loop this because I put this in the playlist about 30 times. I will link this to you afterwards in case anyone wants to relive this insanity at some other point. But this is it. Please enjoy our feature presentation. We'll watch it once. I want you all to absorb it, and then we will discuss. Begin.
Morning. Do you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla, an 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B when A is an intern and B is the CEO.
Art! Art! Stunning! Immaculate art, is it not? This is the pinnacle. For those of you with weaker constitutions, those of you who cannot stand to watch true art on repeat, I'm sorry, but I hate to see you go. But I wish you endeavors. But for the true auteurs here, let us discuss. Discussion is open. What do you see? I see a man. A boy becoming a man.
Yes, but
Trying to impress someone. Trying to impress his father figure?
Why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad
Played like the opening to an adult movie.
and it was written by the
See?
guy who started
This is what I want. I want discussion. That is interesting. Why do you think it played like the opening to an adult movie?
I wanted to be
Younger and
that
older.
guy.
A power struggle, maybe.
And when I got
Is
back,
this
I thought
an
the best
unintended
way
consequence?
to learn would be to work here.
Is this an intended consequence?
I wrote that.
Why do you feel this?
Yes.
Why is this something that's happening? Is it the power struggle? I think it's the power dynamic. Do you think it's intentional?
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
The book is never named. Let's write these down. Let's write these down. The book is never named.
In the book.
We'll try to go with these one at a time. The
Toyota
book
Corolla
is
just the
never
car to get you from A to B when A is an intern
named.
and B is the CEO.
I wrote that book. I wrote that book. I know. And then also, of course, plays like the opening to an adult movie. I'm gonna write porn because adult movie is a lot of words and I didn't have that much space on my... I didn't get a full notebook, I only have this thing. But I digress!
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers? at
Power
6
struggle
a.m.?
creates a lot of tension. The awkward
always
transition
have
in
a
talking
cup
about the
for
car makes it
whoever
seem that
gets here first.
transition was sexual.
You got here
Yes,
first.
there is something...
Yes,
The
but
way that
I
they're
don't work here
speaking,
yet.
there is a lot of tension in it.
Then
It feels very awkward. Almost
keep coming
like
back?
the director was
When I was in the service,
directing them as if
Dad
it were
sent
an
me this
adult...
book, and it was written
An
by the guy
amateur
who started
adult
this
production.
company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
You know,
They talk about the book.
I wrote that book.
Let's go into this. The book is
Yes.
never named. They don't
I know
talk
that.
about what the book is about. Only that the book is
Pictures on the
inspirational.
dust jacket.
What could it be about? It was inspirational
You know,
him
I used to have
when
a
the
Corolla.
boy was in the army.
85.
We'll be simple. We'll call this
Yes,
the boy
that's
and the man.
In the book.
The intern and the CEO.
The Toyota
As you can
Corolla
tell
is
here.
just the car to get you from A to B when A is an intern and B is the CEO.
A and B even. They reduce it. They have no names. They are only positions. They are only letters. What does that mean? It's the removal of the self, the removal of our identities. every morning. He wakes up every morning and he sits in his car with his thermos of coffee and he prepares it.
Standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here
Why?
first.
Why does he always have a cup
Yes,
for
but
whoever
I
gets
don't
here
work
first?
here yet.
It seems like this is something that he does every day.
coming back.
This is not the first time he has done this.
When I was in
This
service,
actually raises
Dad
another
sent
question.
me this book,
How many
and it
times
was
has he
written by
been
the
here?
guy who
Is this
started this
really the
company.
first time that the CEO was the first one at work?
Every word in the book. I mean,
It looks so early in the morning.
I wanted to be that
But
guy.
no one is here, but the CEO is the first one
When I
here?
got back, I thought the best way
What is this
to
company
learn
doing? It's a car
would be to
company?
work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Maybe it's not a car
Yes.
company.
I know that.
My assumption was that it was a car company because
Pictures
it's
on the
for
dashboard.
Toyota, but there is nothing that actually states that this is a car
You know, I
company.
used to have a Corolla. An 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
Their lines start a bit late after the shot
The Toyota
transitions.
Corolla is just the car
True.
to get you from A to B.
The
when A is
directorial
an intern
sense
and B is the CEO.
is immaculate. They do not want bleed on the on their shots. They want the shot to start after you get a good look at their face. They don't want moving. They don't want flow. They want you to feel and then hear in that order. He would be escorted off the premises on day one. Mr. A would.
You feel like
So
you
what does
belong.
Mr. A know?
What are you just standing
Does
around
Mr. A
handing out coffee to strangers
tip
at
someone
6
off?
a.m.?
I always have
Every
a cup for
morning,
whoever
does
gets
the
here
security guard?
You got here first.
He has an entire thermos of coffee.
but
He
I
doesn't
don't
just have the
drink it.
cup; he has a thermos. Do you think that he has
Why do you keep
a
coming back?
rapport with
When I
the
was in the
security
service,
guard?
my
He
dad
pours a thermos of
sent me
coffee
this
for the
book,
guard.
and
He
it was
pours a
written by the
thermos of
guy who
coffee for
started this
the
company.
CEO. And that actually
Every
begs
word in
another
the book, I
question.
mean,
If there
I
is a
wanted
security
to
guard
be
who he
that
pours the
guy.
coffee to, is the security
and
guard
when I
not
got
the one that
back,
gets
I
there
thought the
first?
best way to learn would be to work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla. An 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B when A is an intern and B is the CEO.
So this is not a car company that the CEO and the intern, that Mr. A and Mr. B work at. This is generic company. And this man bought a Toyota Corolla specifically to imitate the CEO because he wants to live the life of the CEO.
Morning.
I understand the
What's your
idea
coffee?
of wanting to appeal to
You
someone
just
by
standing around
mimicry.
handing out coffee to
Imitation
strangers at
being the
6
most
a.m.?
sincere form of flattery,
I always
another
have a cup
artistic
for
merit
whoever
that
gets here
I'm
first.
sure was intended in
You
this
got here
commercial.
first.
But it makes you
Yes, but
wonder.
I don't work here yet.
Again, going back, check your notes.
Why do
The
you keep coming
loose,
back?
the losing of the
When I was in the
self,
service,
the losing of identity. They have no names. They are A and B. They are intern and CEO. If he
and every word in the
wants to
book,
just
I mean,
become the CEO, by no means other than just
wanted
being
to
the
be
CEO, is
that
that
guy.
mimicry not to a fault?
And when I got back, I
Mr.
thought the
A,
best way
Mr. Intern will
to
cease to
learn
exist.
would be to work
In the
here.
future, there may only be Mr. B.
You know,
There may only be
I wrote that
CEO.
book.
Yes, I know that.
Is this not a little bit worrying
pictures on
to
the
think
first
about that the Mr. A's of the world are dying? They're being eaten up. They're
You know,
being
I used to have a
transformed into
Corolla.
Mr. B's,
An
into
85.
CEOs.
Yes, that's
What's the
in
pipeline
book.
here? Child
The Toyota
to
Corolla
military
is just the car
to
get you
Mr.
from
A
to B
to CEO.
when A is an intern.
Frightening to
B is
think
the
about.
CEO.
And it's all via this book, this unknown book, this, dare I say, manifesto. At Business Incorporated, you can be CEO as long as you buy Toyota Corolla 2023. Yes. Maybe something along those lines. It's a set of standards, right? You have to buy the book. You have to buy the Toyota Corolla. You have to act the part.
I always
And it,
have a cup
again,
for whoever gets
this
here.
is why it is pure art.
You got here first.
It's showing the struggle of the everyday. It's showing that to be CEO, it's not enough that you have the skills. You have to act the part. You have to dress the dress. You have to have a face that looks like it was plastered with a little bit too much CGI. to smooth out his wrinkles.
Every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn.
The alternating shot doesn't convey the power dynamic. The intern and CEO are portrayed at the same angle and height. Ooh, interesting.
Yes.
Very
I know
apt,
that.
Wisteria. Very apt.
Your
It's not a
pictures on
power
the dust
dynamic
jacket.
then. I wonder if this is related to then the Mr. A will become Mr. B. It's showing them on equal grounds because he's already halfway there. He already has the book. He already has the car.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B when A is
He's
an
mid-transformation.
intern and B is the CEO.
It says a lot about humans. It really does. What does it tell us? That at the beginning of this, Mr. A is stationary. He's in his car. He is not moving. He's reading the titular book. He's waiting. He's like a hunter stalking prey. And the prey is on the move. The prey comes to him. Like a honeypot, like a honey trap.
Morning.
And he
Feel like
strikes.
some coffee.
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup.
When you
for
think about it,
whoever gets
actually,
here first.
You got here first.
maybe this isn't about
Yes, but
Mr. A's becoming Mr. B's in the world.
Then why do you keep coming back?
Maybe.
When I was in
Maybe
the
this
service,
is about power
my
dynamics,
dad,
but
he
not in
showed
the
me
way
this
that we
book,
originally thought,
and it was
either.
written by the guy
It's
who
not
started
about the
this company.
CEO being stronger than the intern.
And every word in the book, I mean,
This could be a trap.
I wanted
It's showing
to
them on
be
equal levels because they are not of the same
When I got back, I
hierarchy.
thought the
This
best
is not
way
a bear cub
would be to
and
work
a
here.
papa bear. This is not a tiger cub and a papa tiger.
I know that.
This is a tiger
Pictures on the dust jacket.
and an elk.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Different species. It is hunter and it is prey.
In the book.
We might have been misinterpreting this all
The
along.
Toyota
Maybe this
Corolla
artistry goes
is just
deeper
the
than you
car
would have
to get you from
expected.
A to B when A
Because
is
like
an
the
intern
tiger,
and
he
B
sets
is
the trap.
CEO.
He waits, he stalks, he's in the bushes, he's in his Toyota Corolla. And he was waiting. He set the trap. Astute observation. The other way around. The old guard makes way for the new, and this marks the transition. Yes. I think we might be onto something here.
Coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always
The
have a
tiger
cup for
eats the
whoever
elk,
gets here
or shall we say,
You got here first.
the young devours
first.
the
But I don't
old.
work here yet.
The equal portrayal.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by
He
the
is
guy who
young.
started this
He is
company.
virile. He was in the service. He fought
every
for
word in
his
the book,
country.
I mean,
He is a patriot.
I wanted to be
Compared
that
to
guy.
the old guard.
When I got
Graying.
back, I thought the best way
Old.
to learn would be
Haggard.
to work here.
The only due
I wrote that
course
book.
this man has is to write a book.
Yes.
And,
I know
may
that.
I say, we don't even know if he is the
There's
true author.
pictures on the
He
dust
could have had a ghostwriter. That's not touched on. That's an entire
You know,
other
I used to
facet
have
of
a
this man's
Corolla.
life.
In 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
It really shows you something. Is this
Toyota Corolla is just
vicious?
the car to get you from
Is
A
Mr.
to
B overtaking Mr. A as a show of strength, or is this transformative in the sense that Mr. A, not ever knowing Mr. B, sent his books out all over the world. He scattered them to the four corners. And those of talent, those of
Morning.
courage,
Did you feel like some coffee?
those who want to advance, they
Standing
collected the
around
books
handing
and
out
they
coffee to
read them.
strangers at 6 a.m.?
And only
I always
then
have a cup
does he
for
know.
Whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Mr. B is the man to
I
kill
work
Mr.
here.
A.
Then why do you keep coming back?
Mr.
When I
B
was in the service,
was shaped
my
into
dad,
Mr. A's
he
image
sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this
so that
company.
he could kill and portray,
Every word
kill
in the
and
book,
take
I mean-
over Mr. A's role.
I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
I feel like that's a reference to something.
You know, I wrote that book.
Where you shape it and it becomes
I know
you and then it kills you.
Your picture is on the
Is that Code Geass? I don't actually know.
You know, I used to have a Corolla. In 85.
Yes, it's in the book.
The Toyota Corolla
in the
is
book.
just the car to get you from
The
A
secrets
to B. When A is an intern,
to becoming CEO, the secrets to taking over Mr. A's life are in the book. But I have a question. If Mr. A sent his books out across the universe so that people would collect them and read them and take over his role, is step one not to get the book? But why would they get the book if they did not know this would happen?
Coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.
I always have a cup for whoever gets here
What was
first.
his game plan?
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
How do you sell a book
Then why do you keep
that
coming back?
only
When I was in the
teaches
service,
death?
my
That
dad,
only
he sent me
teaches
this book,
transformation
and it was
in
written
the
by
truest
guy who
sense.
started this company.
Transformation from Mr. A to Mr.
And
B,
every
from
word
the
in the book,
CEO to the
man.
intern, other way around, from the intern to the
I
CEO.
wanted to
How do you
be
sell that book?
That guy. And when I got back,
What are the
I thought
contents of
best
that book?
way to learn
Like a
would be
recipe
to work
book.
here.
First you
You
get the
know,
book, then
I
you get
wrote
the
that.
car.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla, an 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
Mr. B takes the coffee at the end.
Toyota
Let's look.
Corolla is just the
Yes,
car to get
there it
you
is.
from A to B. when
That!
A is an intern.
That is the signaling of the old guard. That is the changing of the guard moment. That's showing the strength. It's like a test. The books were sent out. Mr. A read the book. He collected the pieces. A ritual, you might say.
Morning. Do you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
Now
I
the
always
question-
have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't
Is the
work
coffee
here
in the
yet.
book?
Then why do you keep coming back?
Would Mr. B
When I was
put
in
his
service,
coffee in the book?
My dad, he sent me this
How much
book,
sugar he
and
takes,
it
how
was
much
written
milk
by
he
the guy who
takes,
started this
creamer?
company. And every word in the book, I mean,
What is to say that Mr.
I
A
wanted to be
gave him the coffee that he
guy.
likes? What is to say that Mr. A did not
When I
poison
got
the
back,
coffee
I
as
thought
well?
The best way to learn would be to work here.
You
If you think about it,
I wrote that book.
it makes
Yes,
you wonder. If you were in Mr. B's position,
Your picture is on the.
would you
document.
accept this coffee from this man?
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Is this man not a little bit too obsessive? Is Mr. A
That's in the book.
not a danger,
Toyota
this
Corolla
person?
is just the car to get you from A to B. When A is an intern,
Maybe he prefers espresso.
B is the CEO.
Maybe he prefers not to have it been poisoned. It might be in the book. But we don't know that. Mr. A has shown to prove himself trustworthy in the eyes of Mr. B. But is trust so easily gotten?
Morning.
The
Do you
book
feel like some coffee?
seems influential.
What are you just standing around
The book
handing out
must
coffee
have
to
sold
strangers at 6 a.m.?
thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of copies.
You got here first.
How many Mr. A's are out there in the world that would come and do the same
Why do you
thing?
keep coming back?
When I
What
was
is
in
to stop
service,
Mr. B
my
from
dad,
allowing all of
he sent me
them
this book,
to give him
and it
coffee
was written
and to
by the
enter
guy
into
who
his
started this
workplace?
company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back,
Mr.
I
A was
thought
reading the
best
book before
way
pouring the
to
coffee.
learn
He could have
would be
prepared
to
the
work
coffee
here.
beforehand. But I
know,
believe
I wrote that book.
the coffee was in the
Yes.
thermos in order to
know
keep
that.
it warm and then transfer it
Your
to
picture
the
is on
cup
the dust
in order to keep maximum warmth. But
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
maybe the
Maybe
length of
5.
time between
Yes,
thermos and cup,
that's
maybe that is in the
in
book.
the book.
What is not in the
The
book?
Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B. When A is an intern, and B is the CEO.
Is the book really the answer to all the questions? Is trust so easily gotten that all one needs is a book and a car in Mr. B's eyes? You see, he locks eyes, he pours the coffee, he gets out,
Morning.
and he greets.
Do you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy.
Every word in the book.
And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn
The
would be to
thermos
work
is to
here.
show us that he arrived so early that the
You know,
coffee could have been gone
I wrote
cold
that book.
if not been kept reasonable
Yes.
heat-retaining cup before
I know
transferring
that.
to less expensive, more discardable
Your
cup.
pictures on the
Ooh,
dust jacket.
that could also be true. He doesn't know when the first person
You
to
know,
get
I
here
used to
is.
have a Corolla. An 85.
We've established that. He's
Yes.
been here multiple times, and this
In the
is
book.
the first time he has actually spoken with the CEO.
Toyota Corolla is just the car. to
So
get you from
he could
A
probably
to
be
B.
here
When A is
2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.,
CEO.
just waiting to see who the first person is. Saturdays and Sundays too, possibly. We don't know. We have no idea of knowing. But there is something. There's a bit that caught my eye. Caught my ear. Excuse me. I want to see if you hear this. I want to see if you also see the same thing that I do.
Morning. Do you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup.
6
for
a.m. We know
whoever
the
gets
time
here
now.
first.
We have a time frame.
You got here first.
That's important. Write that down.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy.
Every word in the book.
And when I got back, I thought the best
Does
way
that
to
imply
learn would be to work
that the
here.
book contains every word
know,
in existence?
I wrote that book.
Does that
Yes,
mean
I know that.
that this book is all-knowing?
Pictures on the dust jacket.
That is a question that I've had this entire time. How
know,
much
I
does
used
this
to
book
have a
know?
Corolla.
Does it know everything?
Maybe
Every word in the book.
Yes.
That's stronger than a dictionary. A dictionary does not contain every word.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A
A
to
dictionary
B.
only contains words
A as an intern.
that are accepted by the publishing body. But this book, the book, it contains every word. Library of Babel. Is this book a published book? Or is this book does not have a name. It is written by the CEO, Mr. B. What is to say
Morning.
this is not of
Feel like
Lovecraftian
some coffee?
descent?
What are you just standing around handing
In
out coffee
in
to
the fictional
strangers
game
at 6
Dungeons and
a.m.?
Dragons,
I always
there is a
have
class
cup
called the
for whoever
Warlock,
gets
and the
here
class
first.
Warlock has a
You got
pact
here
of the
first.
tome.
Yes.
What
but
is
I
to
don't work
say
here.
that what we are witnessing here is not a warlock and his patron
When I was in the service, my dad
speaking
sent me this
together?
book, and it was written by the guy who started this company.
That is why this seems alien to us. This is
Every
beyond
word
our
in the book, I
comprehension.
mean,
This book is the tome. It has the
wanted to
teachings
be
of
that
Mr.
guy.
B in it, of this CEO,
And
or
when
should
got
I say,
back, thought
this
the best way
Keo.
to learn would be
Because
to
that
work
is
here.
it. It's not an acronym.
You know,
Keo, it's the
I
ancient
wrote that
demon
book.
held within
Yes.
this man.
I know that. Your
Intern and
pictures on the
Keo.
dust jacket.
This book, it's malevolent.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
It was gifted by the father. The father was a former
Yes.
follower of Keo,
In the book.
and it was given to this man in the military
The Toyota Corolla
Perhaps
is just the car to
given
get you
away
from A to B.
at the death of his
When A
father.
is an
Perhaps
intern,
given away
and B is the
through his father's
CEO.
lunacy in order to try to spread the religion. You can see the book has no interesting actually. The shot of the book there, it had no dust jacket. However, the intern says specifically at the very end,
What are you just standing around handing
his
out
cover
coffee
is
to
on the dust
strangers at
jacket.
6 a.m.?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here.
You would think that the man would
You
keep the
got
dust
it
jacket with
first.
the book. Obviously,
but
some people
I
might
don't
take the
work
dust
here yet.
jacket off when reading.
Then
Maybe
Why do
the
you
dust
keep
jacket has
coming
gone
back?
ruined over the years
When
and
I was in
years and
service,
years. This man has
my
probably been
dad
reading the same
sent
tome
me
over and
this
over,
book,
similar
and
to
it
how
was
we're
written by
watching
the
the
guy
same
who started
commercial
this
over and over.
company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to
Further
learn
proof.
would be to work here.
The book is Lovecraftian.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
See? The picture's on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla, an 85.
Yes,
In 85.
in the book.
Note that, actually.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to
KO,
get you from A to B.
Mr. B did not say 1985. He said 85.
And B is the CEO.
Is that assumed to be just the year 85? The year 85. That's right. 43 years. 53 years following the death of Christ. That is when KO got his Toyota Corolla.
Morning.
He is
Feel
ancient.
like some coffee?
He's been around for close to 2,000 years, possibly longer. We don't know. We only know that in the year 85 AD, 85 CE, depending on which version you
Yes,
want to
but
use,
I don't work here yet.
he got his Toyota Corolla.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla, an 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B, when A is an intern and B is the CEO.
From A to B. What does that mean? Going from A to B in a straight line, in a curved line. How do you? On a given day that CEO shows up at 6 a.m., wouldn't it be safe to assume they have something pressing to attend to? How does Mr. B have any time to have this conversation?
Morning.
That's what I'm wondering.
Do you feel like some coffee?
What are you, just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6
Why
a.m.?
is he here at 6 a.m.?
I
Why is he
always have a
here
cup for
not
whoever
every day
gets
at
here
6
first.
a.m.?
You got here.
No one else is here at 6 a.m.
Yes, but
He's
I don't
here
work yet.
every day
Then
this early in time. Mr. B
Why do you
is.
keep coming back?
Mr. A is, excuse me.
When I was in the
Apologies.
service, my dad, he sent me this
So
book,
Mr. B is only
and it
here
was written
possibly
by
on
the guy
pressing
who started this
matters.
company. And every word in
What
the
are
book,
those
I mean,
pressing matters?
I
Do
wanted
they
to
involve the
be
book? Do they
that
involve the
guy.
Toyota Corolla?
And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes,
He's taking quite a lot of
I
time,
know that.
if he is here for pressing matters.
your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla, an 85.
Look at that license plate. Hold on.
In the book.
Keep this in mind. Next time. Box 482. Write that down, everyone. Box
A to B, when A is an
482. That is the license plate. What does it mean? What secrets are in this? Box 482. Google it. Look it up. We need answers. What is in box 482? Is it a postal office box? Is that where the book resides? Is this not a true book? Is this only
Do you feel like
a
some
copy of the book? Is the true actual Lovecraftian journal in box 482 somewhere?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
482.
Yes.
He had his Corolla in 1985. Excuse me,
Then
just 85.
why
The
do you keep
19 was
coming
assumed and then discarded because it
When I
doesn't
was
make
in the
sense.
service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it
482.
was written by the guy who
85.
started this
A
company.
lot of 8s.
And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
Let's look again.
You know,
Should be coming up.
I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Box 482.
Yes.
What does
It's
it
in the
mean?
book.
Is it an acronym?
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A
Book of Xanathos.
and B is the CEO.
Possibly? Judging by their shadows in the 6 a.m. comment, I think we can say they're at least in northern United States, if not further north. For example, Chicago's earliest sunrise this year is 5:30. Don't know the significance of it. Looking for things to analyze. No, that's good. That's what we need. We can pinpoint their location.
Morning.
We can try to find
Feel like some
the
coffee?
book.
What are you just standing around?
The book
handing
is
out
in
coffee
the
to
northern
strangers
United
at 6
States.
a.m.?
If this is in the United States at all, but we can make this assumption.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Chicago, possibly?
Then
New
why do you
York.
keep coming back?
When I
Washington
was in the
State.
service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written
It's
by
under
the
the
guy who
control of
started
Mr.
this
A.
company,
The Book of Xanathos.
and every
Or,
word in the book,
do you
I
mean the entire northern United States?
I wanted to be that guy.
If box
And when I got
482
back, I
is
thought the
not
best way
directing us to a
to
postage
learn
box, but
would be
instead
to work
is actually the Book of Xanathos,
You know,
what does the
I wrote
482
that
mean
book.
then? Is that a time?
Yes, I know that.
Is that a time? 482.
Pictures on the dust jacket.
That's not a normal time, because the 4 in the hour spot
I
makes
used to
sense.
have
The
a
8 does
Corolla.
not make sense. But if we
85.
roll that over, it's
Yes.
522.
in the book.
522. Is that the time that this man gets here every morning, you think?
Corolla is just the car to get you
It
from
gives
A
him a
to
good
B.
38
A
minutes
is
to
an
read his
intern,
book and prepare his
B is
coffee.
the CEO.
That's the edition. Mr. B has much earlier version. Ooh, interesting. Mr. A, Mr. B. You're thinking eventually there will be Mr. C.
Morning. Would you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around?
Let's
handing
look.
out
Let's look
coffee
and see if we have anything else
strangers
to
at 6 a.m.?
examine.
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean,
You know, I wrote that.
I wanted to be that guy.
You know,
I thought the best way to learn would be to have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I used to have a
I
Corolla.
wanted to be that book. My dad
wrote that book.
Your picture is on
An
the
assassin
You know, I
trying to
used to
avenge
have
his
a
dad.
Corolla.
Yes, I know that.
An 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always be that guy.
An assassination attempt to acquire the Book of Xanathos, edition 85.
Yes, but
Why
Dad
85 and why
sent me
not
this book.
842?
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
482, excuse me.
I know that.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B. When A is the EO and B is the CB. When A is an intern.
Interesting. Very interesting. Poison in the coffee. Assassinate to avenge his dad. Assassination attempt to acquire the Book of Xanathos, edition 85. Mr. A has 842. Mr. B states he has or had an 85. Oh, interesting.
Would you feel like some coffee?
What are you just standing around handing
And
out
the
coffee
smaller
to
the number of
strangers
the
at 6
book,
a.m.?
the more
I
powerful
always
it
have a
is.
cup for
And 85,
whoever-
quite a small number.
You
It is
got
only
it
2
first.
digits.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
I could see
Then-
this.
Why do you keep coming back?
And maybe it is an
When I was
assassination
in the
attempt to
service,
avenge
my
his
dad,
father.
he
That is
sent me
something
this
that I
book,
brought up earlier.
And it was written by the guy who
How did
started
this man get this
company.
book? How did Mr. A get his book? He said he got it from his father when he was in the service.
I wanted to be that guy.
But did his father die? Did
And
his
when I
father
got
break
back, I
down?
thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes, I know that. Your picture is on the dust jacket.
Is this all a game?
You know, I used to have a
Of
Corolla.
maybe Mr. A and Mr. B are not the end game here. Maybe they are just players. They're pawns in a greater scheme.
The Toyota
Maybe there are
Corolla is
thousands
just
of
the car to
books,
get you from
each
A
labeled
to
1
B.
through
When A is
1,000, 10,000,
B is the
100,000, a million maybe. Mr. A and Mr. B are only pawns, simple players in a scheme that is infinitesimally larger than they are. This is only one segment of the play for the book. It's like Zatch Bell.
Morning.
It's like Zatch Bell. They have the books. The demon children have books.
At 6 a.m.
Are we good? It went to 0. I don't know if it actually died or not.
To learn would be to work here.
Okay. Unfortunate.
You know, I wrote that book.
Yes.
I don't know when it cut out for you guys. I don't know if you could see all of that.
Your
It went.
picture's
I
on
saw
the
my little
desk,
thing
yeah.
went to 0. It's fine though. Class is still in session.
You know, I used to have a Corolla. An 85.
It like popped
Yes.
up. OBS was disconnected. I was worried.
In the book.
One of those revenge plans where the target doesn't
Just
fully
the
remember, so
car
Mr.
to
A is
get
trying
you
to
from
subtly
A
remind
to
him
B.
until Mr. B fully gets it before he goes for the kill and bites him in the jugular. Ooh. A very cold revenge. I could see something like that. As soon as the coffee is handed over, that's why it cuts out. If you look at the last shot again, they don't see the bottom. We don't see their necks. We don't see their faces. Maybe Mr. A is going for the bite. Maybe he has a devilish grin on his
Would you
face.
like some
What are you, just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
coffee? I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
A fragment of the infinite
Yes,
book is
but
simple,
I
but a
don't work
collection
here.
or a library, yes. Yes.
Why do you keep coming back?
Maybe.
When I was in the service, my dad
Maybe even
sent me this
worse.
book, and it was written by the guy who started
Maybe
this
we're
company.
again. When we talk about Mr. A having an 882, 482,
That guy.
when he has a 482 and Mr. B has an
And it was written by the
85,
guy who
maybe
started
those
this
are not
company.
numbers of additions,
And every word in the
but
book,
numbers
I
of
mean,
collection.
You know, I
Again, we
I
keep trying to
wanted to
paint
be
Mr. B as the
that
stronger
guy.
one here.
You know,
I thought the
But
best way
is he truly?
to learn would be
Is he
to have
truly
a
the
cup
stronger?
for Whoever gets here first.
you got here first.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I
Maybe
used to
Mr.
have-
I
A,
wanted to
the
be
youth,
that book. My
the
dad-
appearance of youth, but is it true youth?
Your
Maybe
pictures on the
collecting
desk.
482 of these books has given him his youthful appearance. Look at his face.
Yes.
Not a wrinkle in
In
sight.
the book.
Looks slightly
What are you, just standing around
uncanny,
handing out
does it
coffee to
not?
strangers at
The
6
uncanny
a.m.?
valley
I
exists,
always be
as we all know,
that guy.
because at some point in time, humans had to fear things that looked almost like us,
Yes,
but were not exactly
My
like
dad,
us.
He sent me this book.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Do you think that's not for things like this?
I know that.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A
Something to make you
B.
think.
When A is the EO and B is the CB. When A is an intern.
He was in the surface. He was in the military. He's gone to war. But he doesn't say what war. Was it Vietnam? Was it the Gulf War? Iraq? Or was it a secret war? A war for the book?
Would you feel like some coffee?
482 books is quite a lot of
Handing out
books.
coffee
How
to
did he rack
strangers
those
at
up?
6 a.m.?
Of
I
course.
always have a cup
through
for
war.
Whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then why do you keep coming back?
Why
When I
does
was
he
in the
keep coming
service,
back?
My dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy.
Let's pay attention at the very
It
end.
was
I want to
written by
see if he
guy
goes
who
for the
started
bite.
This company, and every word in the book, I mean,
You know, I wrote that.
I wanted to be that guy.
You know,
I thought the best way to learn would be to have a cup for whoever gets here first.
you got here first.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I used to have a
I
Corolla.
wanted to be that book. My dad,
wrote that book.
your picture is on the dust.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Yes, I know that.
An 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
What are you just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always be that guy.
You got here first.
Yes, but my dad, he sent me this book.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
I know that.
The Toyota
Again,
Corolla
you can
is
see,
just the car to get you from
you
A
don't
to
see above
B,
the torso.
when A is the EO and B is the CB.
What is the
when A
intention of
an
that?
intern.
Do you think it is that they're going for the bite? That this was a strike at the heart? It truly makes you wonder. How many men, how many people, how many human lives have to be
You feel like some coffee?
erased
Standing around handing out coffee to
in the war
strangers
for
at
this
6
book?
a.m.?
I always have a cup
Countless,
for whoever gets
countless.
here first.
If numbers are anything to go by,
Yes,
at
but
least
I don't work here yet.
567.
Why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service,
Truly
my dad,
horrifying to think
he sent
about.
me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And when I got back, I thought the best way to learn would be to work here.
Mmm.
I wrote that book.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very astute, Seg.
that.
Very astute.
Your picture.
We
is
have
on
no
the dust jacket.
subtitles, so we can only assume that it was be as in
You know, I
to
used to
be,
have a
the
Corolla.
verb. But it could have been
Five.
be as in an acronym.
Yes,
A one-letter acronym, the trickiest acronym to note. And the B
Toyota
is bite.
Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B, when A is an intern and B is the CEO.
Really worrying to think about. But why? What happens when they're gone? What happens when they walk off screen together? The fight for the book. The fight for the books.
You feel like some coffee?
But what's the end
What are
game?
you just standing
Collect all the
around
books, what
handing out
happens?
coffee to strangers
Like the
at 6
Highlander,
a.m.?
there can only be one.
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
But
Yes, but I don't
when there is only one, when the books are collected,
Why do you keep coming back?
what happens?
When I was
Control?
in the service, my dad,
Like the
he
Infinity
sent me this book,
Gauntlet.
and it was written by the
Is
guy who
Mr.
started
A
this
or
company.
Mr. B planning on doing
Every
something?
word in
What's
the
their
book,
end goal? Can we suss it out through
wanted
this
to
conversation,
be
I wonder?
that guy.
What is the director of this commercial trying
It
to
was
tell us
written by
about
the
these
guy who
books?
started this company, and every word in the book, I mean,
You know, I wrote that.
I wanted to be that guy.
You know,
I thought the best way to learn would be to have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Maybe that's how you
Yes.
be that guy.
that.
Interesting.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Who is
Be
that guy?
book. My dad
We all labored under the assumption that that guy
Pictures of
was
the
Mr.
You know, I
B.
used to have a Corolla.
Yes.
But maybe
I
that
know
guy is someone else.
85.
Yes, that's in the book.
The same guy as I want to be that guy,
Coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.
or I want to be the guy, excuse
I
me.
always be that guy.
Is it connected? Is it connected? I want to be the guy.
Yes.
I want to
but
be that
my
guy.
dad,
Are
he
they the
sent me this
same?
book.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
I know that.
The Toyota
Because we only
Corolla
wrote the
is
book.
just
It isn't
the car
specified
to
it's an
get you from
autobiography.
A to
Yes.
B, when
It's
A is
unknown
the
what it
EO
is. It's just
and
something
B
that
is
has
the CB,
every
when A is
word.
an intern.
I want to be that man. That man. That man has a book. It has a gear on the front of it. Guilty Gear. Is this the story? Is this the prequel? Is this... Who directed this? Was it Daisuke Ishiwatari? Is this the prequel to Guilty Gear Strive?
You feel like
That man, Asuka R. Kreutz, is the next character in Guilty Gear.
Strangers at 6 a.m.
Is this...
I always have a cup for.
Is this the prequel? Yes! Is Mr. A. Frederick?
First.
Is this Frederick and Asuka meeting for the first time?
Then, why do you keep coming back?
When I was in the service, my dad. He sent
The
me this
company.
book.
We know nothing
It was
about the
written by
company.
guy
You know
who
what this
started
company
company.
does? It produces gear cells. This is a company for
I wanted
war.
To be that guy.
Welcome back, Shungo. We've
And
just
it was written by the
uncovered.
guy who started this company.
That is Frederick. That is Asuka R. Kreutz. And this is a prequel.
No,
to Guilty Gear Strive.
I wanted to be that guy.
He wants to be that guy. That
Would be
bad guy.
whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Ugh, the
I know that.
scientific
You know, I used
discoveries
to have a
I
Corolla.
wanted
of this
to
magnitude
be
are...
that book. My dad,
Wrote that book.
your picture is on the dust.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
This might be too
Yes.
much.
I know that.
Maybe
This might be
5.
too much.
Yes, that's in the book.
It is the Great Lab,
What, you just
the Gear
standing
Lab.
around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
It's all making sense now. Look at that. You see how they can... They reacted.
My dad, he sent me this book.
It's true.
I know that.
It's all true.
Corolla
This
just
is...
the car to get you from A to B.
This is
When
them
A is the EO and B is the CB. When A
in
is
their
an
truest forms. The Gear Lab. Mr. A and Mr. B. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Again we're fooled. The young one being Frederick, the old one being Asuka. My god.
Coffee.
There's another bombshell to be done.
Handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.
These are not Frederick and Asuka in that order.
For whoever gets here first.
Mr. A.
First.
Yes.
A
I don't
for
want to
Asuka R. Kreutz. Mr. B
Why do you keep
for
doing that?
Frederick
In
Bulsara.
service, my dad, he sent me this book, and it was written by the guy who started this company.
Frederick was the
Every
one who
word
started
in
the
book,
company.
I wanted to be that guy.
This puts a whole light on everything.
And it was
Switch
written
them
by the guy who
around.
started this company.
We've always, for years, thought that Frederick was the young one, the impressionable one.
I wrote that.
I wanted to be
Soul
that guy. I thought
was
the best way
the bad
to
guy.
learn would be
Mr.
to
B,
help
Bulsara,
whoever
Mr.
gets
B,
here first.
bad guy.
First.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I used to have a
I
Corolla.
wanted to be that book.
Box 482.
Dad,
Wrote that book.
Book of Xanathos? No.
your picture is on the dust.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Yes,
Box 482 is the location
yes.
in which Asuka now resides in
What, are you
space.
just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always be that guy.
You got here first.
Yes, but my dad, he sent me this book.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
I know that.
The Toyota Corolla
And
is
with
just
that,
the car to get you from
The
A
Guilty Gear
to
lore
B.
begins.
When A is the EO and B is the CB.
That
when A is an
single movement of coffee started everything. From here, from this conversation. Look, Asuka is the one with the book. That man has the book. That man poured the coffee. And in that coffee
Should feel like some coffee.
are the gear cells that would go on to infect Soul Bad Guy, that would go on to turn him into the Guilty Gear.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then
And it's only by transferring the coffee from one to the other are the events of Guilty Gear set in motion.
And it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean, I wanted to be that guy. And it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean,
you know, I wrote that.
I wanted to be that guy.
You know,
I thought the best way to learn would be to have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I used to have a
I
Corolla.
wanted to be that book. My dad,
Wrote that book.
your picture is on the dust.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Yes, I know
So
that.
Soul wrote Asuka's
85.
book.
Yes, that's in the book.
What, are you just standing around handing
Yes.
out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always be that guy.
We can only assume that Soul wrote Asuka's book,
You got here first.
Yes, but
unless
my dad,
there are multiple
he sent me
souls.
this book.
You know, I used
Unless
to have a Corolla.
he wrote the book in a metaphorical sense.
I know that.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to get you from A to B. When A is the EO and B is the CB. When A is an intern.
That's everything. That was all 35 of them. I think we have uncovered something though.
To be that guy.
Frederick. Asuka. What does it mean? What have we learned? Let's loop this while we discuss.
That guy.
You know,
I thought the best way.
What have we learned about art today, everyone? Look at your notes. Read them back. I will look at my notes and read them back to you. In order. The book is never named. I think that's very important. As we have found out through this, the book is never explicitly named, but we know the name of the book through contextual clues.
Yes.
It is the Book of Xanathos, and there are at least 567 copies of it scattered, that they must be collected, at which point you may be that guy.
Yes, but my dad.
Second note, I wrote that book. Who is the I here? We assumed it was Mr. B all along, but maybe, as I mentioned, maybe the book is metaphorical. Maybe we all wrote our own books. Maybe the books are not a single thing. We all write our books. We all live our lives. We all, dare I say, write our own stories. So when he says, I wrote that book, he means I am the author of my own life. Number 3, I know. He is all-knowing.
Morning.
Plays like the opening to porn. The sexual tension between Mr. A and Mr. B. Palpable. Daisuke knew that people would want to ship Soul Bad Guy and that man, and so he made it feel like the opening to porn.
When I was in the service, my dad.
6 a.m.
And it was written by the guy who started this company.
That tells us, based on the shadows, that this takes place in the northern part of the United States, if not the southern part of Canada. And it tells us that the early bird gets the worm.
And every word in the book.
And last but not least, box 482. That is the final note I have written down. And of course we know box, it's a double entendre. It has 2 meanings. That's not what a double entendre is, sort of. Box 482 has 2 meanings. Book of Xanathos, 482. It's his count. It's the count of books that Asuka has collected. 482 books. But it also is the name of Asuka's space station orbiting the Earth after the events of the Guilty Gear Strive main story.
Yes.
What do you have?
In the book.
Notes. Daisuke is an auteur in the field of cinema and is unmatched among his contemporaries. Dare I say you're correct? Absolutely. From that perspective, we all wrote that book. Yes. Yes. I see no other answer. Mr. B is the universe experience itself. We are all Mr. B. We are all Frederick Bad Guy. We are all Frederick Bolsara. This is, again, I cannot stress this enough. This discussion was about the commercial, and it was about art, and I hope you all can see why I consider this to be the pinnacle of art. This is the commercial. This is the piece of art. This is a defining moment.
Just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always have a cup for whoever gets here first.
It's the unbreakable human spirit.
Yes, but I don't work here yet.
Then
we all
why do you keep coming
write
back?
our own books.
When I was in the service, my dad.
We are all in the service.
And it was written by the guy who started this company.
We are all going to start a company, and we are all going to continue forward.
I wanted to be that guy. And it was written by the guy who started this company. And every word in the book, I mean,
you know,
I wanted to be
every
that
word
guy.
in the book.
You know, I thought the best way to learn would be to have a cup for whoever gets here first.
You got here first.
Yes, I know that.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
I wanted to be that book. My dad
wrote that book.
Your picture is on the dust.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
Yes, I know that.
An 85.
Yes, that's in the book.
What are you, just standing around handing out coffee to strangers at 6 a.m.?
I always be that guy.
You got here first.
Yes, but my dad, he sent me this book.
You know, I used to have a Corolla.
I know that.
The Toyota Corolla is just the car to
Just-
get you from A to B.
Just
when A is
beautiful.
the
Just
and B is the
immaculate.
C,
I
when A is
cannot
the
put it into words. Just the artistry. The pure artistry of it. It really just moves you, does it not? It moves me. With that, let us open up discussion. What have we learned today? Not only about that commercial in the journal, but all commercials, all commercial products, advertisements, the CM as it is sometimes known. What makes a good CM? What makes good art? A story. The human spirit, the tenacity, being able to put yourself in it. All commercials exist within the Book of Xanathos, yes. Because as we know from the commercial, every word in the book, every word, every single permutation of word, everything that was, is, and ever will be, exists in the book. The B-movie script, that's in the book. The book itself, believe it or not, in the book. Every word in the book. Terrifying. Terrifying to think about. This is the book. Do not click on that link. Clicking on that link may very well overwhelm you. It may destroy you. I will do it for you. I will bear this burden for you. Browse, search, random about, reference hex, image archives, forum, theory. Theory. What is the theory? My thinking about this story has developed, and my research has continued since I wrote these pages. I have corrected and expanded upon them in Tar from Order, The Library of Babel and the Dream of Totality, available open access from Punctum Books. The first paragraph of Borges' The Library of Babel offers a minute description of the universe he has doomed his librarians to inhabit, which is why I was shocked to reread the story recently and discover my mental image was completely wrong. He describes a vast architecture of interconnecting hexagons, each with 4 walls of bookshelves and passageways leading to the identical hexagons. I had made the assumption that 6 walls minus 4 walls of bookshelves equals 2 such passageways. I read to my astonishment. The arrangement of the galleries is always the same. 20 bookshelves, 5 to each side. Line 4 of the hexagon's 6 sides, the heights of the bookshelves. Floor to ceiling is hardly greater than the height of a normal librarian. One of the hexagon's free sides opens onto a narrow sort of vestibule, which in turn opens onto another gallery, identical to the first, identical in fact to all. One of the hexagon's free sides opens onto a vestibule. How could this be? So much of the story told by our narrator conjures endless, desolate expanses of hexagons, repeating infinitely and inspiring both the reverence of God who created them and despair at a life trapped inside them. But this would only be possible if the hexagons had 2 openings each. Otherwise, the structure would terminate at its first junction. Terrifying. Truly terrifying. I don't know what to say. Every word in the book. Let me write that down. That was my mechanical pencil. Dun, dun. Every word in the book. Every word in the book. Write that down. Think about that tonight when you go to bed. We all write our own books. We all are the authors to our own lives. Every word in the book. With that, I know nothing else. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to catch you next time. Peace out, everyone.